Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request, this time from Too Short Channel. Thank you for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos. PayPal is usually the best way to go, or you join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for an album called Michael Jackson's Xscape. And yeah, I've been talking a bit on Michael Jackson lately. And like these posthumous albums have not really been the greatest, and I kind of see why these songs were not released in the first place. Where it's not that they're awful or terrible, it's just that not nearly as classic as albums like Bad and Thriller and Dangerous, and more so. But I mean, still nice and interesting to hear his voice. Now the thing is that depending which album you get, it's either like kind of remixes of those songs. But then if you get a different album, which I mean you can find this all on YouTube, there's like the original versions of his songs. And to be honest, the original versions of the songs sound better than these remixes that they're doing. And maybe that's what's hurting it. There's about 8 songs: Love Never Felt So Good, Chicago, Loving You, A Place With No Name, Slave to the Rhythm, Do You Know Where Your Children Are, Blue Gangsta, and Escape. Now, Love Never Felt So Good, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of a catchy dance song with some clapping and some funk to it. Chicago, you had lyrics like, never thought she was living like that. This girl, she had to be an angel sent from heaven just for me. Those two, and the third one, Loving You, which I just was meant for the Bad album. Those three, they kind of felt very similar in terms of what the story was about, what the lyrics were about. Loving You, never, I mean, sometimes I had to quit, go, am I listening to the same song? Or, okay, these are 3 different songs, but I don't know, they felt... they felt kind of similar. They just felt kind of like interchangeable in a way. I guess of the 3, I would say Love Never Felt So Good was a bit more of the catchy one of those first 3. The other 2 were there. Although I think their original versions were a bit better than the remix versions. A Place With No Name, that had a decent beat to it, but I thought the original version was better because there's a song by America called A Horse With No Name, which is what it's based on. A Place With No Name is based on A Horse With No Name by America. A horse with no name. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 in the rain. Like a horse with no name. And you feel more of that beat in the original version than Michael Jackson saying of A Place With No Name. I mean, the remix had a decent beat to it, but again, I thought the proper way of the original version just sounded a bit more in sync with Michael Jackson. And that's not a pun, because I know Justin Timberlake had a hand in producing some of these songs, including one of these songs. He actually, I think it was Love Never Felt So Good, where he did a version where he put his own voice into it as well as Michael Jackson's voice, as if it was a duet. Which I wasn't sure how I felt about that. Justin Timberlake, I don't know. I could give or take him. Definitely think Michael Jackson's better. Slave to the Rhythm, it was there. I would say of the first 8, the song I liked the most was Do You Know Where Your Children Are, because I thought it had the best beat so far of those 8 songs. Do you know where your children are? 'Tis now it's 12 o'clock, and they're somewhere out on the street. Just imagine how scared they are. I thought that had a really energetic beat that kind of reminded me the most of an old school MJ song. And that's actually the remix I don't mind the most. And I thought, like, of the songs, that's the one Because listen to the first 4 or 5 songs, like Save to the Rhythm. I don't really have much to say about it. A Place with No Name, decent beat, at least the that version. But like that 6th song, Do You Know Where Your Children Are, is like the first one to keep me. Oh, wait a minute. This has my interest. This has intrigued me. Okay, this I can get into. This I don't mind. This I'm not minding at all. Obviously, the other some I didn't mind. Like Blue Gangster was there, but Escape got to get away from a system, loosen the world today. Escape the pressure that I face from relationships haven't gone my way. Escape the man with the pen that writes the lies that hassle this man. Escape, I do what I want because I gotta face nobody but me. I didn't mind the lyrics to that. I could make a few connections to what that's all about. I would say Do You Know Where Your Children Are and Escape are the 2 best songs of the 8. And that's the thing, there's only 8 of them. When the album was originally released, there's only 8 songs. So it's not like a whole lot of songs. But then if you did like the deluxe album, you get a repeat. You get those 8 songs, then you get a repeat of them where they're the original version. And again, the original version at times sounded better maybe because they don't have all the other shit added into it, so it feels like an old school Michael Jackson song that didn't have a lot of that crap in it. So you're able to hear more of his voice, and now all these little things that try to enhance it, or I don't know. Older music was always, I think, is a bit better than new music today. Like, I thought the original version sounded kind of better, so maybe that's a tribute to Michael Jackson's great voice, or maybe he knew a little bit thing. He knew a little bit more about music than some of these folks of today. Like I said, I'm listening to A Place with No Name and Xscape. I'm like, this sounds a bit better, the original versions. They sound a bit more easy to swallow, easier to listen to. So that's what I mean, like, of the 8 songs, the first 3 kind of sound similar to me. A Place with No Name, kind of a decent take on A Horse with No Name by America. Kind of interesting to see that taken and refurbished into Michael Jackson's tone and voice. Do You Know Where Your Children Are, I think, is easily the best of that album. And then Escape, I think, is the second best. Although it did kind of make me want to re-listen to Stream with him and Janet Jackson. I don't know why. Maybe because the lyrics kind of remind me of what he did a little bit more successfully in Scream, which was about, I had asked before, like, did he ever do a song about his frustrations with people accusing him of stuff? It's like, yeah, it's Scream. I'm like, oh, I don't know how I forgot about that song. But that is a good song. Good duet between him and Janet Jackson. I don't know how I forgot. I guess because I hadn't heard that song in like 20 years. But I listened again, I'm like, yeah, that's a really good song. So, Escape isn't as good as Scream, but it's all right. And I say there's nothing that would blew my mind, and it's not like I went in with a lot of hype. There's nothing mind blowing about it, but at the same time, it's still always nice to hear new stuff from Michael Jackson you hadn't heard before. But at the same time, I could see why this wasn't released before. It was nothing like, oh my god, we unearthed a classic. And the closest of this one I would say is Do You Know Where Your Children Are? Which I know the lyric kind of will elicit some bad jokes. Do you know where your children are so I can take them? But there's going to be jokes of that. So maybe it's not the best title, but it's a song about parents neglecting their kids, and you don't know actually, like you said before, parents pay more attention to your kids. Don't set them in front of a fucking phone and laptop computer and fuck around for whatever 18 hours of the day so the kids are just on by themselves. And he's got a point on that. He doesn't specifically talk about that, but Parents, take more responsibility for your kids. Which he's got a good point on that. So, like I said, that I always say is the best song of it. The worst song, I mean, there's no song I hated, but I guess either Loving You was kind of forgettable. Blue Gangsta, I mean, kind of a much lesser version of Smooth Criminal. And I'm a big, like, Smooth Criminal was one of my favorite songs of his. Blue Gangsta kind of seemed like a much weaker version of that. So overall, I mean, it's worth a listen if you're a big fan. I would at least recommend Do You Know Where Your Children Are, and at least some of these songs I would check out maybe the original versions. Because you type in Michael Jackson's Xscape, there's people that have playlists. If you find the one that's like 16, 17, I mean, if you want to listen to the duet with Justin Timberlake's voice in it, I guess you'd be my guest. I was kind of meh on it. Like I said, Justin Timberlake, I'm kind of on. I guess God is too, because wants me to dim in my light to dim my conversation on, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, do I like it more or less than Michael? I don't know. I'm kind of the same. I was saying the posthumous stuff. It's more interesting than entertaining to listen to. Does that make more sense? The stuff that's posthumously released. It's more interesting, and you're curious. And then maybe there's one or two songs you're like, ooh, and then there's like, it's all right, or okay, great voice, but I don't know if I'll listen to it much on repeat. And it's still nice to hear at least one time. So I know there's still some people mad that I stick up for Michael Jackson, but oh well. I still don't think he did what he was accused of, and I haven't seen any proof on the contrary. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.